And today, if I may say so, Jyoti, I want to begin by saying everyone in the country says, you are the turnaround minister. That's what they call you. And the reason they call you the turnaround minister is because you are always put in place when the chips are down. From the privatization of Air India to now the historic turnaround of BSNL. BSNL, under his leadership, for the first time in 17 years, has reported profits. In Q3, BSNL, nobody thought would be profitable, reported a profit of 271 crores. He says he plans to have 1 lakh planned towers operational for a nationwide 4G rollout of BSNL, and you yourself have referred to it, Jyoti, as the significant turning point for BSNL. What is so significant behind this turnaround? What is this approach? And since this theme is about limitless India, what is the limitless mindset behind it?
So first of all, Arnab, thank you very much for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be with you and to be a part of Republic's grand event as it's being held this year as well. Just to add on to your story of when the chips are down, I was also made power minister when the grid collapsed in India. Yes. the next morning, and therefore entrusted with the responsibility that this should never ever have happen again.
Yes.
The issue with the story of BSNL is it's actually one of the jewels of India in a fiercely competitive environment. I'm just coming back from the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. And the EU, which is made up of now 27 states, 27 countries, there is, even if I use the word fierce competition, it would not be doing justice to the environment of telecom in that block of the world. And in that environment, for a government-owned telco to not only survive, but to service 9.5 crore customers, to grow, and after 17 years, as you mentioned, the first quarter after 17 years that BSNL has made a profit has been in the October-December quarter of last year. And keep in mind that this is in an environment, as I mentioned, of fierce competition, and not only that, when all other telcos across the world, including in India, and we've had the privilege of having 4 telecom service providers in India. There are not many countries across the world that have that many players in the telecom space. All set up their 4G, 5G networks using imported equipment. And let me tell you, there are only 4 players in this space in the world. There's Huawei and ZTE from China. Yep. There's Ericsson from Sweden, there's Nokia from Finland, and there's Samsung from Korea. Only 4 telecom equipment manufacturers, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and hopefully by 2030, 6G. In that space, the Prime Minister's vision, and this goes into your topic of limitless India, Atmanirbharta, do what earlier could not be even dreamt of. And he said, we need to produce our own 4G stack. And if BSNL is going to go into 4G, it will do so based on an Indian 4G stack. And for the first time in the world's history, after 3.5, 4 decades, you have seen an Indian government-owned technology company, CDOT, manufacture the core. You've seen a private sector company, Tejas, manufacture the RAN, which is the radio access networks, which are the towers that you see. You've seen an Indian SI, system integrator, TCS, manage all this process together. And today we're rolling out 100,000 towers of 4G proven technology on BSNL networks. So by June this year, my 100,000 towers will be fully operational, and hopefully, starting June this year, I'll also be switching from 4G to 5G on those towers.